2017. A truck drives into a crowd in Lower Manhattan, New York, killing 8 people.
Was he in fancy dress?
The thing is, actually, he was dressed up as one of the terrorists from the Nice attacks, where a guy did the same thing,
and so he got off.
He was just very committed to his Halloween costume.
Yeah. They went, "Oh, that's fine."
Yeah, if you kill someone on Halloween, but you do it in character as your costume, that's not a crime. That's a great costume.
The year is with Red and Bobby.
We are good to go on the Year Is podcast.
No, that's not how we're starting.
Okay.
Welcome to the Year Is podcast, the podcast where every episode, me, Bobby Mair, and my friend, comedian Red Richardson, we go back to a year in history. Although today, we're not going back to a year in history. This is a special Halloween episode.
Ooh.
So we are going back to all of Halloween.
Yes, we are.
I got you a costume. You wouldn't wear it.
No, not wearing it because I've been hurt before on our Christmas special.
Okay, you think someone shows up at your house, you say, "Hey, will you wear this?" And you give them a garbage bag and say, "Your costume this Halloween is garbage." They wear it. You say, "I won't wear a garbage bag."
Not today. I've worked on myself and I put value in myself.
No, but
I've not gotten over the elf episode where you screamed at me when I was wearing a flammable elf costume for an hour.
I'm sick of people saying that like a flammable costume. All clothes and people are flammable.
Yeah, but they don't. Not stuff isn't meant to just go up like.
If I lit you on fire right now, do you think those clothes aren't flammable?
If you touch, if the light of the studio lights could have put the elf suit on fire.
Okay. But I thought, over the last week, I saved all of my best garbage, like old eggs and like baby food. And I thought you put the bag on your body and then we smear the old garbage on your face. And for Halloween, people say, "What are you?" And you say, "I'm garbage." That's a good costume.
Are you still taking your daughter to that party dressed as Jeffrey Dahmer?
I'm not. There was an idea. There was an idea.
Yeah, you had a few ideas, didn't you?
We had Harriet's idea was the best, which was we dress Mabel up for Halloween as Jody's girlfriend, baby killer Lucy Letby. Which I think is great.
Explaining that to people.
Subscribe to our Patreon, and you'll
hear more about that. Yeah,
you can see my baby daughter dressed up as baby killer Lucy Letby.
And you got some stuff to promote, Bobby?
I've got lots to promote, actually. We should start with that. I have a special coming out.
Yeah, very exciting. Jody, the man Jody, was involved.
Listen, sometimes you're making a special on a deadline. And you only know
just say thank you,
one
Jody.
person that has cameras.
He's going to leave us. Jody's been moonlighting, by the way, listeners, because you don't subscribe to Patreon. Who have you been talking to, Jody, to do another podcast with?
No, he can't say. He can't say.
Yeah, very, very top secret. Watch this space.
Oh, watch this space.
Watch this space. Yeah, Jody might jump ship.
It's going to be fucking empty. But it's funny. We'll tell you sometime.
The problem with Jody leaving for a week would be I would turn on the equipment, still film an episode, and Jody... yeah, there would be...
I don't know. There'd be hiccups. And then Jody would go to his other podcast and he'd go, "Oh, my God, they're nice to me." And he'd never want to see us again. Anyway, let's go on to your special.
My special is coming out. That's what we're saying. I'm releasing a special. Well, this is going to come out... When, Jody? Next Wednesday. I'm releasing a special today.
Oh, yeah.
So the day this comes out...
Why Wednesday?
My special is dropping.
Why not a weekend?
Why not a weekend? Are you on your phone watching videos on weekends, usually?
I think everyone just is any time now.
Well, then why...
Okay, just sit down for an hour. Just sit down for an hour and watch a show. It's an hour, yeah?
You think I should have released it on a Friday night?
No, Saturday morning.
You think a Saturday morning would have been best?
You've woken up. Picture this. You're a Year Is listener. You've woken up. There's empty bottles of wine all over your house. There's someone in your bed. You don't know who they are. It's your brother. Oh, my God. What have you done?
You've
shagged your own brother.
What? No, why?
There's only one way out of this. YouTube. Bobby Mair special.
Listen, this special, I toured this show in the UK in the spring.
Yeah,
Lots
I was
of
there.
great. You were nice enough to open for me, unless you got a better gig. Lots of years.
Yep,
Redophiles came.
they did.
The Redophiles came.
Festus and his lovely wife.
Yeah. Well, we don't need to name them one by
Okay.
one. It makes it seem like a lot smaller of a group.
Yeah. He was just one who stuck out because of his name.
Yes. And then I toured I did Edinburgh for the whole month. I toured in Europe, and this taping was like one of the last days of Edinburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And the show was as good as it was ever going to be.
4 stars, Scotsman.
That's true.
Yep.
And I got it.
Yeah, you've got it filmed, and it's going to come out for free on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels great. It feels like a sense of achievement. Now there's that terror of like, oh God, I have to write a new hour.
Yeah, but that's good. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking the other day, I was if I die, there's just a few shit videos of me on the internet, which is why, listeners, I will be recording my own hour-long comedy special at Aces and Eights, Tufnell Park, December 2nd. DM me for tickets.
Well, or just you could put a ticket link up. Maybe.
I will at some
There'll be a
point.
ticket link.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be a ticket link on all of the social media platforms
Exactly.
for
And
the year
guess
is
who's
red, and I'll even retweet you.
Thank you very much. And guess who else is involved? None other than Jody VandenBurg, the wizard. Thank you, Jody.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Ray.
Yeah, he's taking the tickets. That's nice of him. He'll be at the door, take tickets.
No, he's involved. He's involved. Big part, Jody. So that's that. More of us if you need it.
Yeah. And if you get to that point where you think, oh my God, what? I can watch both of their hours do stand up. I love this podcast. What else do they give me? Well, subscribe to our Patreon.
Do that.
Because there's an extra episode every week on Patreon.
And that greedy fuck Jody is trying to jump ship as we speak. He's taking interviews with other podcasts.
and I'm encouraging him to take
It's
these.
bad because he said, "Oh, can you share this?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." I didn't even look at it. And then I'm like sharing him trying to work for other podcasts.
I just want Jody to have.
I want him to be happy.
Listen, we've said it before. He's trying to get a hair transplant,
Yeah.
and it costs a lot. And because we covered it on the live app, but because of legal reasons, he can't leave the country. So he can't go to Turkey and do it for cheap.
No, he needs the full whack.
No,
on here.
because of his conviction, he is not allowed
Yeah.
to leave the borders of this nation and go anywhere near children. So it's difficult.
Mm-hmm. So we need to send him to Yorkshire. They have a farm there where they do your hair.
Yeah.
What else has been going on? Has anything happened? I can't remember. My neck's bad. I woke up, hurt my neck. It's fucking annoying. I turned left because I heard a noise and it just went click.
And now you're stiff.
Now I'm stiff. I've taken loads of paracetamol. Doesn't work. I think we should have stronger drugs in this country. You know, in America they got an opioid crisis.
Yeah.
Why not here?
You wish you could just get some oxy for that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was listening to a podcast the other day about they're talking about benzos. They're like, yeah, what's it like? It's like, you know, when you're even like slightly anxious or you got bad anxiety and you're like, oh God, you just take one, apparently you feel fine. So it's like being a psychopath, you know?
Yeah, but they're so addictive.
Yeah, but you just keep buying them.
You're right. I think they kill people though.
Yeah, but it's a good run anyway.
Yeah.
But you're just like, oh my God, I got so drunk last night, I like headbutted.
So
my
can you do
mate's
some
mum.
neck exercises maybe?
Yeah, I can do that. Oh, fuck.
How's that feel?
Shit. But yeah, it happened to me once years ago, and I've always sort of, but this is the second time.
I think maybe it's because your head, like, in terms of like how you carry yourself, you got to carry yourself like a turtle, like your neck leans forward a bit.
My wife's sister Bonnie calls me son cool, which means no neck. Apparently.
So actually, you think your neck is sore, but your head and shoulders are sore because there is no neck. The problem isn't that your neck is sore; it's that there isn't enough neck to hold that head.
That could be it. Turtle head.
You're a little turtle.
But I do got a very thick neck. It's like Mike Tyson.
I'm looking at you right now. You don't actually have a neck. It's head on body, Red. Your chin is touching your chest.
I've got that thing that soldiers get where they've got no leg, but it hurts, you know?
You have phantom neck.
Phantom neck.
Yeah. When an Iraqi soldier gets his leg blown off and then he feels his sore leg, but he touches and there's nothing there. That's your neck.
Yeah.
You have chin and chest. I can see it right now. That's what you have going on.
Stop now. Jody's trying to leave us. It's him we should be being mean to. So Halloween, Bobby. Are you a fan of Halloween?
I always liked it when I was a kid because you go to people's houses and they give you shit. Would you go trick-or-treating in Devon?
I did in London. I remember me and my old friend in our village, Lorenzo. We went trick-or-treating, and there was a place down called The Grove, and we rang on the doorbell, and this little kid answered, and his mum was behind him, and we said, trick-or-treat, and the kid just went, trick. So I had a bucket of water and I threw it in his face, and Lorenzo threw flour, and the guy behind us smacked an egg on him. And the mum just went, ah! And we ran. The kid, you just hear him crying. I was about 9, 10. But yeah.
How old was the kid?
He must. At the time, he seemed small. So when you're 10 and a 14-year-old seems old,
so he must have been
he was
2.
He was probably 3. I just remember it just escalates so quickly. The mum was just went, ah!
He should have said treat, that greedy
I
little
know,
fuck.
but he was so arrogant. Trick. It was like, oh.
Yeah, here's my trick.
Yeah,
I'm going to turn you into a cake.
I miss those days. What about you? Were you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I ever would attack people in their homes.
No.
But I would always have good costumes.
Yeah, good costumes. That's good.
Like, I think my best costume was Survivor of Abortion.
Okay. When did you wear that?
I was in college. I just wrapped a coat hanger around my head and went to a dance.
Okay, that's.
You ever try to have a one-night stand with a coat hanger wrapped around your head? Be like, baby, this could be our future.
This could be what you are.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And then the shirt just written in fake blood, Survivor of Abortion.
It'd be funny to go to like a really Christian barn dance.
Yeah. Well, to them, that is Halloween is supposed to be about fear, and that is their biggest fear. This is what happens to them. This is why it should be illegal.
Yeah, and when we talked about the polar bears on Halloween in Canada, who snatched the kids.
What?
In northern Canada. I told you about the polar bears that are hunting the people.
I don't believe you at all.
They snatched the kids on Halloween. So can you imagine that? You're dressed as a little Spider-Man or something. Well, not Spider-Man. Who's a baddie? Greta. You're dressed as Greta. I'm joking. You're dressed as, who would be? Prince Andrew. Who would you go as now?
I think actually you just made me think of a good costume. I'm going to go as Greta Thunberg, killed by climate change.
Okay.
So it'll be Greta Thunberg, but like cooked, like baked, because the sun has burnt me to a crisp.
Yeah. You should have listened.
Yeah. And then I just
you ruined my childhood.
I just say over and over, you should have listened. You should have listened. You should have listened.
It'd be funny because you don't see Halloween always seems to be. Imagine if everyone wore what they think, because you don't see like the Christian lot out dressed as like a gay guy or something like that. You know what I mean? Like no one
you
wears.
Think people should dress as their biggest fear?
But no one. It seems like rational people are the only ones who celebrate Halloween in a way. You know what I mean?
What would be your biggest fear costume?
A rat. One of those Campbell green rat.
Red the rat.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't like that. But you know what I mean? It's like an ISIS guy dressed as like a woman in a miniskirt, not wearing a veil.
I don't know.
Who's also gay.
I don't know if ISIS are really like Halloween people.
No, but that's what it'd just be funny if you could go out and see who is what, like who's like, oh, he's the Republicans are trick or treating now.
Yeah.
But you don't get that. So what happened? Give us some horrible Halloweens.
No, let's travel back. We got to do the travel back.
Boo! All right, get on the broomstick, Bobby.
Okay.
It's Halloween. That's a witch. That's a bat. Let's go.
The witch and the bat. I sound like the same creature.
We're flying through the air.
Okay.
Bobby's an ugly woman with a mole on his head. Her head. We're landing. Where are we, Bobby? Oh, my bum hurts from traveling thousands of years on a stick.
Well, it doesn't actually. Conceptually, the time travel doesn't make sense now because we're going back to the day of Halloween spread over thousands of years.
Yeah, but we're stopping at one individually. First stop. Where's the first stop?
The first stop is the concept of Halloween.
Oh, the concept. When was when it originated, or just it as a feeling?
As the first concept, it's not necessarily a date. It's just an idea.
Okay.
About Halloween. That's
okay. Well, what's your idea about Halloween?
that the first jack-o'-lanterns were carved from turnips.
Oh, here we go. And what year, Bobby? What year?
They don't have a specific year that happened.
Wow, it's called The Year Is This podcast. Usually we have the year. So the concept of Halloween is just vaguely...
So I get you a fucking costume. I do all the research. I build a studio. You show up late and
5
criticize
minutes late,
what I've
and
done.
Jody dicked around for half an hour longer. December 2nd, Aces and Eights, Richardson taping. Thank you. So carry on.
Sign up to our Patreon so I have a financial reason to hang out with this man.
But by the time I'm ready to film, it'll be December 3rd, though. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's true,
Yeah.
actually. And you'll also be off in your new pod, which I can't talk about.
All right.
Mm.
So, the first jack-o'-lanterns were carved from turnips. That's what I'm trying to talk about.
Okay, yeah. Turnips.
Have you ever eaten turnip?
Yeah, I like it.
It's disgusting.
No, wait, I'm thinking parsnip.
That's a completely different
Yeah,
thing.
completely different.
It just has nips in the title.
Yeah. Parsnips in a roast are very good. Turnip,
Actually, now that I think about it, I think parsnips and turnips are like...
No, turnips are the big orange ones, aren't they? That are like not pumpkins. Like, Google it, Jody. I want to see what they look like. Just they're the big orange ones that are like this shape as opposed to round.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. And they're horrible to cut. I know what you mean. Carry on.
That was the first jack-o'-lantern.
And so they went, we're going to make something spooky. Why? Why this day? Hallows Eve. What's it saying, Jody?
Well, to me, it looks more like kind of a round white vegetable with a bit of purple on it.
Yeah, they come like that too.
So not yellow.
They come like... So wait. You were just making up a vegetable.
I know someone out there knows what I'm talking about.
You were just thinking of a pumpkin. That's
no,
what happened
they're
just
like
now.
this.
You thought of a pumpkin
No.
and you said, yeah, turn up, it's orange and round.
Please. A Swede is what I was thinking of.
What?
Or a parsnip.
No, I know what a parsnip is, Jody. Anyway.
Talking down to me. I don't know what a parsnip is, but Google turnip.
Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah, so they did that.
the Irish, it was the Irish, they used turnips
Mm.
and potatoes.
Yeah.
That'd be a tiny little jack-o'-lantern, though.
Yeah. And they go, ooh, why have you got a light and a vegetable? Because it's a scary day.
I always hate whenever someone's like, hey, it's Halloween, do you want to carve a pumpkin? I'm like, hey, we're both grown-ups. Do you want to, like, find something fun to do?
I never do Halloween anymore because it just it doesn't seem to cross over with my life, you know?
How would it?
Well, so I
really?
live on the 3rd floor of a block of flats, so no one ever rings on my doorbell for sweets. There's no children, and I do gigs, so you just don't see any, you know what I mean? And there's always somebody who's like, do you want to do a Halloween party? And I just go, I don't want to pour like fake shit on my face and buy an outfit I'm only going to wear once.
You don't want to wear a Halloween costume.
No, can't be bothered.
No.
As I told you today.
So, Red, what? But if you had to go as anything, what would you come on? What would you go as?
This year, who would I go as? Who would I go as this year?
Maybe like Liz Truss's husband.
Yeah, I could do. Yeah, no one knows what he looks like.
Do you know Liz Truss cheated on her husband like 10 years ago?
Really?
And then he stayed with her.
No.
And then she was prime minister for about 45 days. How good would it be if he's just sat there for 10 years and waited? She becomes prime minister, fucks it up completely, and like the week after she gets kicked out of office, he starts fucking her best friend.
Or
that
he
would be the
divorces
best
her.
Revenge.
Divorces her and takes half of that 110k she's getting for the rest
Yes.
Because that'd be a nice life. You can move to Thailand, 55 grand a year.
Red, I don't think these people are really thinking like that. These are like rich people. They're not thinking like, ooh, for 55 grand a year, I could move to Thailand. That's like a scumbag thought.
Yeah, no.
They're thinking like, ooh, I think I'm going to be in charge of a bank in a couple months.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But if you let Liz Truss cheat on you, you'll let anything happen.
Yeah.
Because someone was saying she was hot on Twitter the other day. I was like, what are you talking about?
You think Liz Truss is? They thought Liz Truss was on.
Yeah, they did.
She has a certain like dead-eyed stare that makes you think, "What's this woman into?"
She doesn't seem to know what's going on. But it is weird because it's like, well, she resigned, and then you got Rishi. He'll probably have to resign in 2 months. You know what I mean? It's just like, let's just face it. There's no one good there.
Yeah.
I suppose you could go as who could you? Not Boris, too boring. Who's evil? Cummings, but then I'd have to shave off my hair, which isn't happening.
My friend went as she put on a red dress and went to a Halloween costume party at a pub in Peckham. She was Madeleine McCann, and she came second, and a lot of people were quite disapproving of that.
Yeah, that's bad.
It seems
Because you're meant to go as the bad person. I don't think Madeleine McCann isn't hiding because she killed 3 old men. It's quite the opposite. That's what happened. She murdered loads of people at the resort. Now she's in hiding.
I'm just. That's the clip. Just you saying
Fuck
that.
off, for God's sake. But you know what I mean? Like, you're not meant to go. You're meant to go as the evil person.
I want to go out for Halloween as Vladimir Putin getting his dick sucked by a horse.
Okay.
So it'll be
Jody
Putin.
can be the horse.
I'm Putin. He looks more like the horse.
Yeah, you actually. Jody looks a bit like Putin.
Jody looks like Putin if he.
We should do a thing because the listeners don't know what Jody looks like. Let's do a competition where you draw what you think Jody looks like, send it to us, and you can win 20 quid.
Yes.
And we'll show some of them.
We
on the
will. In 3 weeks on our Patreon, we will reveal Jody's face.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have been investigating it, saying, "Who is Jody and why?" Like, he's chiming in. They're like, "Who's Jody?" And
Well, he might not be here in 3 weeks, so we got to fucking make the most of it.
we
while
got
we can.
yeah, but he's gonna be. Listen, he's gonna come to his senses.
Yeah.
So
We're taking interviews on Zoom.
he's gonna come to his senses. It doesn't mean they're gonna hire him. It does. We've all done interviews.
Yeah,
I interviewed to like run a. We've all.
Yeah, I auditioned for John Wick.
Yeah.
play a concierge.
Yes.
I had no lines, and they still went nah.
So yeah, if we will reveal Jody's face on Patreon in 3 weeks if you send in drawings of what you think he looks
What do we
like.
say? £20 reward competition.
A £20, the person that draws the most realistic Jody picture.
What you think he looks like, but we haven't given enough descriptions.
No, but you can. No, it's.
You called him. What have you called him? Uncle Fester. We said he looks like Putin.
Well, he more looks like Lyshenko, that guy that Putin poisoned.
Oh, God.
Jody looks like the Russian spy that was poisoned.
This is why he's leaving us
in
Bobby.
London. It's not why he's leaving; it's why he wants to leave. It doesn't mean he'll be able to. He might not have any other opportunities.
Really, we're all trying to leave, aren't we? I feel like we're in jail and we're passing time, and it's all like, yeah, I'll write to you when I get out. We're prison friends. Anyway, so what else happened on Halloween? Has there ever been a massacre on Halloween? Like,
There have been massacres at Halloween, but I feel like I always go massacre heavy, so I was trying to get away from massacres.
oh, okay, yeah. I just know you don't have to answer. It's just interesting that no one's ever gone, oh, I'm going to go out on Halloween and actually stab
No,
everyone.
you asked, you get it.
Okay.
Well, it's also the most hack day to do it, isn't it?
Yeah,
the
but
most
it's
obvious
still
day.
like, you'd think that's when they do it.
You asked for a massacre.
Mm-hmm.
2017, a truck drives into a crowd in Lower Manhattan, New York, killing 8 people.
Was he in fancy dress?
The thing is, actually, he was dressed up as one of the terrorists from the Nice attacks, where a guy did the same thing,
And
he
so
was
he got
just-
off.
He was just very committed to his Halloween costume.
They went, oh, that's fine.
Yeah, if you kill someone at Halloween, but you do it in character as your
Yeah.
as your costume, that's not a crime. That's a great
No.
costume.
I bet you there's been people who've like 2 mates who dressed as the Twin Towers and another as a plane. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely.
I'd love to do
Have
that.
a Google worst, best Halloween costumes ever. I bet you there's some pretty bad ones. I always just mine are bad because I put in so little effort, and then it's like a tiny bit of blood on my face, and then I'm just stood there feeling like an idiot, you know. One year I probably would like to really go for it and maybe do some white paint and a Dracula costume.
Yeah, the classic one my dad did when we were younger. He loves like Halloween and any kind of event like that. He was obviously working all day, came back, hadn't got a costume ready, so quickly ran upstairs, put a bin bag over himself, and then covered himself in shaving foam and went out like that. And I don't know what that was supposed to be. Some kind of ghost.
Or something?
Yeah, some kind of crazy ghost.
Yeah.
That's how creative my dad
Yeah,
was.
that's just more mess, isn't it? Than like.
Yeah.
Some people really go for it and do it well. I'm just not. I hate when people have like the slit throat and stuff. Like I see a lot of people do that, and it just looks quite realistic.
I'm looking. It's hard because most Halloween costumes are just kind of lame. It's hard to get like a really
spooky ghost. I am the recession.
There is no recession, actually.
Oh, there's a recession coming.
No, there's nothing good. It's just like every woman's dream, right? Then it's like someone dressed up as a trophy wife.
What, with blood on her?
Yeah, and then
Yawn.
and then the perfect husband costume, which is just like a marionette because she pulls all the strings, and it's like, so they're all just fucking lame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
An Oompa Loompa.
Why are they evil? They
I
just
don't
give
know.
people chocolate.
No, this is just bad costumes.
They did feed that fat kid to death, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or was that his own fault? I can't remember. Drinking from the river of chocolate. Which really, they made it. They got this kid in with a clear like sugar addiction, and went, "There's a river of chocolate, don't drink it," and left him unattended, and then he died, and everyone blames him.
Yeah, well, personal responsibility. That's what I'm about now.
Take some fucking blame.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, in 2015, a Metrojet flight is bombed over the Sinai Peninsula, killing all 224 people on board.
On Halloween.
Again, those people had dressed up as
fair
terrorists and blew up a plane. The thing about being committed to your costume is sometimes there's some blowback.
Yeah. Have we got any more facts?
All right, 1 sec. Give me a sec.
Do you know when the Halloween was originated? Like, why?
You want to know about the origins of Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ireland had a festival called Samhain.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Samhain had 3 distinct elements. Firstly, it was an important fire festival celebrated over the evening of the 31st of October throughout the following day. The flames of old fires had to be extinguished and ceremonially relit by druids. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It was a festival not unlike the modern New Year's Day in that it carried the notion of casting out the old and moving in the new.
I see.
You know, end of fall, beginning of winter, that kind of thing.
So we're getting rid of the bad spirits, basically.
Yes.
When Jody's mate dressing as Madeleine McCann is where that led to.
Yes. Yeah. Somehow, there's a couple wrong turns along the way. So to our pagan ancestors, it marked the end of the pastoral cycle, a time when all the crops would have been gathered and placed in storage for the long winter ahead, and when livestock would be brought in from the fields and selected for slaughter or breeding.
So it's the end of, it's
That's
the
a tough
beginning
thing.
of winter, basically.
That's a tough thing to be selected for, though.
With slaughter or breeding.
Yeah, you're
You
standing
either
there.
get to fuck or die.
Yeah. You're like, hey, look at my dick, guys. I'm good. Check me out. Look at the dick. I prefer breeding. Like, no, slaughter. We want to eat you. Please, I want to fuck. Let me fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're a male cow, you either, most of them die, and then once in a while, one of them gets to be a bull, and that bull gets to fuck every cow.
Yeah.
It's a real coin flip.
But bulls just look they spend their lives in the field on their own, just looking furious.
Yeah, but then fucking everybody.
Yeah.
You know, if they're like, that is some good bull semen, that bull gets to fuck every cow in the fucking barn. But then when it's alone, it probably mourns all of its dead brothers.
Yeah, and goes, I've got a sex addiction.
It's like a male. There's a real male genocide happening in the cow community. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah.
Where are the men's rights activists for that? You know, where are the men's rights activists saying like, "Hey, stop killing all the male cows only"?
Well, we need the milk.
Yeah. Yeah,
from the female cast.
it's like the Chinese girl babies of the animal world.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So, it was also the last day of the year at the time when the souls of the departed would return to their former homes and when potentially malevolent spirits were released from the other world and visible to mankind. So that's the idea, is that, oh my God, on this one day of the year, spirits are visible because they've come back from the other world.
Oh.
So that's why we're dressing as spirits. And in that sense, Jody's friend who dressed like Madeline McCann wasn't wrong.
Mean.
It is pretty mean. If it was my kid, I'd find your friend and beat them into the dirt. I'd beat them into the dirt.
When did the sweets come in?
I don't know I'm not.
You did the research on Halloween.
Yeah, but okay.
When did the sweets start?
The sweets.
What do the sweets have to do with Madeline McCann? What the
I know they were banned before, so they came in before
That's an American
World War
thing,
II.
isn't it? The sweets.
But, okay, it was banned during the 40s because of a shortage of sugar. So they took Halloween away from the kids in America.
Yeah, and probably here.
During the war. But
Also,
Halloween,
you don't need Halloween in a war.
Why not?
Because you're like, woo, I'm a ghost.
Yes, you are.
There's actual bodies on the street. You don't... Woo, trick or treat. It's like, get in the bunker. There's a German bomber above us.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's Halloween's for times of, like, affluence and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't really do Halloween when bad stuff's happened.
Yeah. Well, agree to disagree.
Why?
I think you can. I think people do.
Mm-hmm.
You know? There's probably some girl in Idaho right now whose dad just OD'd on meth.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting ready to go trick-or-treating as a little princess. And you're telling her because her dad OD'd on meth, she can't trick-or-treat? She can't get candy? Because that's what it is for the kids. It's the day they get candy. So you're saying when things are bad, kids aren't allowed to get candy.
Maybe, you know, you can get sweet. I just don't think there's a need for the, like, the costumes and stuff when bad stuff
You
happens.
just hate costumes.
Mm.
So why do you hate costumes?
I don't hate costumes, but, like, if you saw a kid dressed in a skeleton outfit in a war zone, would you go, that's a bit weird?
No, I'd give that kid a gun and put him at the front lines. That's a
Of
terrifying
course.
kid.
You wouldn't give him sweets, would you? You'd give him a gun.
I might
and
actually. If a kid was walking on a war zone going, trick or treat, I'd be like, you know what? This kid deserves a chocolate. I wouldn't say no chocolate for you. There's a war happening.
If I was in Syria, and I'd have a bucket full of guns and bulletproof vests instead of sweets.
They don't celebrate Halloween in Syria.
No, I know, but if they did, this is what I'm saying. You don't really need it. It's a very Western thing.
Of course it's a Western thing. We live in the West.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is when there's horror, you know, in America and England, we haven't been invaded. We are not being bombed and stuff like that. So we kind of go, let's get spooky and bring out the dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
I just agree.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah. Agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
In some American cities, Halloween was originally referred to as Cabbage Night.
That's a bad Halloween for people. That sounds like the name people have given it because they don't want to give their kids sweets. They go, it's actually called Cabbage Night.
No.
No.
Thing is, if you let me finish, you'd look less stupid.
Okay, go on then.
That's the problem. You speak and you put both feet in your mouth, and then so far in your mouth, you almost suck your own dick.
But this is the problem is, I feel that you've done so little research this week, I keep chipping in because I'm terrified that when you end a sentence, that's just it.
There's more.
Okay.
The name Cabbage Night comes from the typical use of rotten cabbages for Halloween pranks. Sounds like something you would have done, actually.
No, I would have done that.
You know?
Definitely.
10-year-old Red would have shown up the door of an infant.
Yeah.
The mother opens the door. The infant's just laying there
I go,
for someone to take.
And he goes, no trick, please. My father's very...
And you would shove old rotten cabbage in the mouth of that baby.
Yeah.
And in some cities, people gathered leftover cabbages in a pile in a field and then lit it on fire.
Yeah.
They burned old cabbages or they threw old cabbages at people. For a period of time, Halloween was very cabbage heavy.
That sounds more fun, though.
Yeah.
If London became a cabbage war during one night, that'd be quite fun. Have you seen that in Spain when they throw tomatoes at each other? I mean, like, that is a waste. But have you seen that festival? They pelt each other with tomatoes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always like, my biggest fear is having to eat a raw tomato because they're fucking gross.
What?
They don't taste
They're
like...
really good.
No, they don't taste like...
Have you had one sliced with mozzarella on this salad?
It's fucking disgusting. A
Mm.
raw tomato. That's what I'm going to go as for Halloween, is a raw tomato, because it's disgusting.
You have the diet of a small boy.
No, I have the diet of... I've been working out for 3 weeks.
Yes, you
I
have.
ran for 20 minutes today on a treadmill. Do not insult my physique. I will bench press you.
But so,
Well, I'll
what
cut up your body and bench
what
press
do you think of
individual
lettuce?
parts.
Lettuce. Do you like lettuce?
I do like lettuce
Okay.
in small doses.
It's small, very small. What about basil? What's your thoughts on basil?
Nobody
Bobby?
likes basil.
It's,
No
nice,
one's.
it's delicious. Do you like basil, Jody?
I've
Jody's
got a
never been
taste for
allowed
these
it.
things. I've got a diet similar to Bobby's, but
What, you only eat
to-
crisps?
yeah, tomatoes and particularly in this country are gross. I started eating vegetables in Australia. I'm just like, oh, this is what this.
When did you move to Australia?
In my gap year when I was 18.
So you didn't eat vegetables before that?
No.
Just dried frosties?
Yeah.
That does explain a lot about Jody.
Jody,
Yeah.
why didn't you eat vegetables? You went, I don't
Because
want
they're
them.
gross here.
That's so... Oh, my God. You're like two fucking little brats.
It's gross and dry when they serve it to you here. In
So you're
Australia,
like,
it's like, oh, this
I
is
want
amazing.
alphabeti
I will not-
spaghetti.
I will not have a morbidly obese man
No.
tell me about how I need to eat vegetables.
No, you do, and I eat a lot of them.
I've seen you eat a whole chicken
Mhm.
and then suck on your fingers.
No, you haven't. That's not
Yes,
lie.
I have.
What do you think of cucumber, Bobby?
Yeah, it's good with duck.
What?
Hoisin sauce.
Oh,
You
yeah.
Hoisin.
I went to
duck
Pizza
and
Express with
cucumber.
Bobby, and he asked for double hoisin sauce, and they brought his pizza, and the person carrying it had to carry it like this because it was literally like a soup.
That was a mistake.
It was disgusting.
I
I was
made
watching him eat it. It was just so gross. And his daughter was there just looking at him like, oh, that's my dad.
I made a mistake. I should have ordered the double hoisin with duck
Genuinely
pizza.
looked like someone had just put his pizza on the ground, whipped their trousers down, and just sharted all over it. It was so disgusting.
I didn't eat all of it. I felt
No, you did.
I felt like I let down the waitress.
Yeah, I think you did. I think they had to fucking get a mop in the kitchen after you'd left.
But yeah, cabbages.
Do you like cabbage?
No.
No.
I always think about cabbage farmers.
Mm.
Imagine farming of vegetables. Your whole life is like dedicated to this vegetable, and it brings no one joy.
Yeah, that's it.
Your entire output is a vegetable no one wants, that they have to sneak into kind of other recipes. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh, this has cabbage in it, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a thing just to survive, get by.
Yeah. Yeah, technically it is food.
I mean, it stops you dying,
Yes.
but no one likes it.
Yeah, if Cabbage had a commercial, it'd be like, Cabbage, if you eat us, you'll die slower.
Yeah, it's not great. It's not a top vegetable.
You must have been to Silk Road in Camberwell. Have you
Yeah,
tried the
it's great.
Camberwell? Not the Camberwell. The
Silk Road's
cabbage
great.
there.
Yeah.
I don't like cabbage, but the cabbage there is amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. They actually managed to make it taste good. Silk Road, Camberwell, Chinese restaurant. It's so good.
I'll check it out.
You will.
You could take me.
You will indeed. Let's take Boris and his new wife, Carrie. Now they live down the road, sandwiched between us. Betwixt.
In Alabama,
Mm-hmm.
wearing a nun or priest costume for Halloween is illegal.
Because they think you're mocking religion?
No, because if you dress like a priest, you know what happens.
No.
Kids try to fuck you. They figured it out in Alabama. If people dress like a priest,
Yeah.
kids try to fuck you. If you dress like a nun,
There's something about that outfit that they just can't resist.
can't resist. And I mean, it's been blowing up the last 10 years in the news, you know.
Yeah. Or just these children being outed.
These children being outed for...
You see these 75-year-old men going, it's time to speak my truth. 20 years ago.
a bunch of kids.
A kid who's now 25 molested me.
Yes. That would be quite the defense. I've never seen the reverse defense.
Yeah.
Oh, they must have done it before.
Someone's tried.
Yeah.
Someone's tried.
I think Halloween costumes, it should be illegal.
What?
I'm trying to...
What should be illegal?
No, I was trying to think of...
Oh, Halloween costumes, that should be illegal. I think you said Halloween costumes should be illegal. I don't know. Well, you see like Osama bin Laden costumes? You go, yeah. But is that... I know it's bin Laden, so you can do it, but is that racist, dressing as bin Laden?
Are you putting on the makeup?
You kind of have to, don't you? Otherwise you'll Father Christmas.
Yeah. And then that raises the question, is Santa Claus based on Osama bin Laden?
Bin Laden had a very kind face, didn't he? I always thought he's got nice eyes. Obviously, terrible man, but do you know what I mean? When you look at his face, he looks like a wise old man from a story. Like that you meet and he goes, go forward this way. Though, weirdly, for disaffected young men, he probably was that guy. which is where it all began. Don't trust the kind eyes.
So you would say you have a fear of Halloween?
Not fear. It just hasn't. I loved it as a kid, and then it becomes another one. Like it's like Easter, and you go, "Oh, this just isn't our thing now." It's not.
Remember,
really
yes, and Red. So you would say you have a fear of Halloween?
No, and.
No, but Red.
No, and I'm not going to lie.
For the sake of someone trying to do a bit.
I just said no, and.
For the sake of someone trying to do a bit.
I didn't shut you down.
Set me up
I carried on
by saying yes, and. So Red.
Oh yes, and I do, Bobby. Why? What joke have you got lined up? So I have to lie for. Go on.
Well, you're a Samhainophobic.
Oh, is that what it's called? You could have just brought that and going, oh, because you don't. But there's a thing called a Samhainophobic where you don't like Halloween, and we wouldn't have to go through this whole improv thing. But anyway, Samhainophobic is somebody who doesn't like Halloween.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say.
So do they all sit inside in dresses?
Let's say you were a small boy, right?
Mm.
And then when you were like 2, your mother opened a door and a kid threw flour on you, and then a different kid threw water on you, and a different kid threw an egg on you.
Mm-hmm.
You may then be a Samhainophobic and have Samhainophobia because you're now terrified of Halloween because of the trauma you endured on Halloween.
I'm sorry, if your illness is only relevant one day a year, shut up. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know about that.
There's people with agoraphobia who can't leave their house year round. I don't think Sam. Oh God, it's nearly Halloween again. I'm getting scared. Really, actually, what's funny is they're the result of what Halloween's meant to do.
Yeah. If anything, the Samhainophobia people are the people.
They're in the spirit.
Are in the spirit of Halloween.
Yeah.
So you might think you hate Halloween, but actually, Halloween loves you.
Yeah.
More than it loves the people
And
who aren't
we need
scared.
to find the Samhainophobics and dress as ghosts and surround them, going woo and throw stuff at them.
Yes.
In the spirit of the day.
The spirit of the day is right.
So you should have to sign up and enlist as a Samhainophobic. You should have to declare you are, so we all know where you are, so we can all have fun at your expense.
Did you know
Mm-hmm.
that Rob Schneider,
Mm-hmm.
Deuce Bigelow,
Mm-hmm.
Male Gigolo,
One of the greatest actors of all
man in the background of every Adam Sandler film,
time. Mm-hmm.
was born on Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was the one South Park just took the piss out of relentlessly for like 8 years.
Yeah. He's went right wing now.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw when someone tweeted about GB News or something. He went, "I'm joining," or "Let me join." I'd love to see Rob Schneider next to Mark Dolan.
I just love that, people, like a lot of comedians go into like being political commentators.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they've built up their credentials as someone who can make people laugh.
Yeah.
And then it's like, so they do that well. So comedians will build up their credentials as someone who can make someone laugh. And then because they're good at making people laugh, then this whole other job is like, hey, would you give us your political opinions now?
Well, the laughter, they start taking themselves seriously. The laughter doesn't become enough. And then you go, no, I'm more than this. I'm speaking truth to power. I'm this person. And then it's like they think they can jump in between and be like, I'm political 1 second, and then go, oh, what's in my trousers? Is it an erection? And no, it's just a banana. I was kidding. Go, well, we think you're serious now, so
Yeah.
you can't jump between.
Yeah, you gotta.
That's why
pick your
never
lane.
get involved in politics. Keep your mouth shut and do jokes.
Easy to say when you're a white man.
It is, but I'm not a white man because there's rumors I might be Native American Indian. So thank you very much, Bobby.
That is.
What?
Who's started the rumors?
Just my grandma, but now denies it. She told me that we were Native American Indian, and then I said, okay, and spent 20 years, and she goes, I don't remember saying that. But she was born, she's 90, I can't, but she was born in the 20s.
Do you know how old she is?
92, I think.
So the way
90?
you'd figure it out, if she's 92, right? If you want to do the
I don't know
math
if she's
quickly.
92, just quickly do it.
So if you want to do the math quickly, right, on 92,
Mm-hmm.
that's 8 off of 100.
Okay.
So you take the year now. What's the year now?
The year now is 2022.
And then minus 8. What was 8 years ago?
That was 2014.
So then your grandma was born
Yeah. In?
8 years after. Actually, I should have went the other way. I got the math
Yeah,
wrong.
you did.
She was born in 1930.
So, 4 generations before her in California. So, California was Mexico, well, part of Mexico until 1865, as we've covered on previous episodes.
Okay.
So, we're looking at nearly 17th century, my family there. Native American Indian, invaded by Mexican people. Big wars. Big chance I am Native American Indian. And I don't see enough Native American Indian people on TV. Do you, Jody? I
No.
don't feel we're being represented.
I don't think they call themselves any of those words.
They do. They do.
I don't think they
Yeah,
do,
they do.
Jody.
Have you not seen the casinos that say it on the side?
I don't think those are the words
There
they
is,
use
it's
Yeah,
anymore.
no, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I remember there being.
I love that you're trying to shout down a Native American. You're such a white man. You're literally trying to
You are not,
my lived
Red,
experience. You're there trying
it's
to
not your
shout
lived
me down.
experience.
No, you really are.
You-
That's such a white cis white man thing
Just
to
because
do.
you get called Jack Black on the street does not mean
No,
that.
I got called a Mexican fuck in front of you by that guy outside when we were flying for our show.
What did he say exactly?
He said you Mexican. I can't remember. But then I was walking past some actual.
that Scottish guy. Yes,
Yes.
in Scotland.
I
Yeah.
was walking past some actual Mexican guys in Camberwell. They run a grill house there, and they were like, "Oh, whereabouts in Mexico are you from?" And I said, "I'm not." And they're like, "Shut up!" But they were Mexican. So I look.
Can we do a DNA test then?
Let's do a DNA test on the pod. 'Cause I am not white passing, and I will not be shouted down by some red-headed, fair-skinned white devil.
No, but you are white passing.
No, I'm not. Jody, what race am I?
Yeah, you do have some dark tinges.
Thank
around
you
Yeah,
very
I can
much.
see that.
Thank you.
Yes, and
Yes, and exactly. Let's just say if I was running to be the head of UKIP or the Proud Boys, there'd be some whispering. They'd say, "Oh, I don't know if he's white enough." Whereas you,
What can I say?
what can I say?
I could run the Proud Boys.
You could run the Proud Boys indeed. Anyway, how do we get onto this? Sorry, everyone, if you're listening at home.
we were at Rob Schneider. That's where we started. When I was
Rob
in the-
Schneider, he's gone right wing.
Mm.
That's
Yes.
what he's saying. Which is funny because he also did the worst, most cheesy comedy ever. And now he's got this serious political standpoint.
I think if you're a comedian
Mhm.
and you build up your social media following from just being funny,
Yeah.
and then you decide to become an intense political commentator that is devoid of humor
Mm-hmm.
and is so boring, and all you do is retweet extreme political opinions, and you sit there and spout your boring political opinions constantly,
Yeah.
you should have to start a new Twitter. I don't think your funny social media following should then get transferred over into your now political. You should have to start again. It's not fair.
Mm.
It's not fair. It's like if I because they're different jobs. It's like if I just now take my following and like, guys, I'm not a comedian anymore. Oh, what do you do? Well, I went into selling windows. Does anyone want to buy a window? And it's like, wait, what? We are here because you're funny. And it's like, no, I'm a window guy now.
Spamming people with sunglasses.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what a lot of these comedians are doing, is they're spamming their audience.
It's boring. It's like, this isn't what you're meant to do. Where I want to see more joke flowers in the pockets with squeezing water, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we want. I want to see you fall down the stairs with, more of that.
Yeah, Rob Schneider, when I was in LA a few years ago, that was the one famous person I saw. He was in the queue at the airport to go through security in front of me, Rob Schneider. That's my brush with fame.
Did he bump it? Did he push in front of you, Jody?
Yeah, he did. That's what he's known for.
Queue jumped.
Yeah, queue jumping. Yeah. He was also in the kind of economy queue. I was like, dude, yeah, things haven't worked out well for you.
Well, he was in like every bad movie for about a decade.
He's great in Big Daddy.
I've not seen that. Is that where someone shrinks or something?
No.
They used to do those films in the 80s.
I love the shrink. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
The mum becomes the son, and then the dad tries to fuck the mum, but it's actually the 4-year-old boy's brain.
Actually, that's a great idea, Red. A body swap shrunk
No,
movie.
I worked on a French film during lockdown, which that was the plot. And there's a scene where the dad's trying to fuck the mother, who's actually the 4-year-old boy.
Oh my God.
It's like, or was it the teenager? I can't remember, but it's the teenage girl or a young girl.
Trapped in her mom's body.
Trapped in her mom's body, and the dad's like, come here, sexy.
Oh,
and
God.
It's so French that they take it there.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What did they go through with it?
No, she doesn't. She's like, go away. And he's like, what's wrong with you? You never had a problem. You know.
That would have been, I think that's the time to tell your dad, right? Why wouldn't she just be like, Dad, it's me?
Yeah, I'm the kid.
Rather than just like being like, oh, stop it, Henry. I'm tired. Like, you don't have to placate your dad's sexual advances. Just tell him, I'm trapped in mom's body. Stop trying to fuck me. I'm sure he'll listen.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be like, yuck.
Yeah, that's meant to be a comedy, but it's actually a Halloween film, really, isn't it?
And then let's say they never get out of the bodies, right? They're just
God.
stuck forever.
You'd have to leave your dad.
No, how long until you're like, okay, well, I'm going to be dating my daughter's body now. It's my wife. No, this is
God.
my
That's
wife.
the worst thing.
My wife is trapped in my daughter's body. That's why I'm here. My wife. The reason I'm on a date with my daughter is my wife's trapped in my daughter's body, and my daughter is now my wife. She's at school right now. I'm out with my daughter.
What's
with
weirder?
my wife?
What's the more morally sound thing to do?
I think the
if
morally
you're the dad and you know.
I think the morally sound thing to do is to walk into the sea, participate in neither behavior.
I think what you do is you shoot your wife, you shoot your daughter, and then
you shoot yourself.
You put your family's favorite song on. You put the shotgun in your mouth. Oh, you kill the dog as well, and then you just blow your own brains out. Maybe that's what every murder suicide is. That's what happened to Chris Benoit.
That's something because it was a body swap comedy where they never swapped back.
He couldn't swap back, so he had to use his wrestling moves. Oh God, we're fucked. Oh, I think that's a good way to end.
Well, if you want to hear more of that,
and also you can hear about a famous comedian I gigged with the other night who said a racial slur and touched my willy, all on the Patreon. We'll name him.
Oh, and thanks to our super genius patrons, Matthew and Spencer, we love you.
Love you both. Thank you.
And Christopher, you're not one anymore. We still love you.
Yeah. And Safi, thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Bye. That was another episode of The Year Is. Thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a review. It all helps. I'd like to thank our producer, Jody. And also I'd like to thank Josh Weller for our intro music and song. It's very catchy. It's very nice. I'm sure you will enjoy it at the beginning. So big thanks for Josh Weller. He's on Instagram at Josh Weller. Josh Weller. Follow him and keep spreading the word of The Year Is. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.